the Frederick character becomes Doctor Doctor oh yeah becomes Doctor Go. And the best part, the Brandon character becomes the new McKee. And so we'll treat these characters, the other one becoming that guy, he had, of course, Rumble, and the Frederick character now have the abilities and the powers of this character. Of course, the one who was on the ground and started the glitch on them. So now let's get to an interesting part. Unfortunately, this is not mean that Marshmallows Man or Buxton is dead. This means he was unconscious for a while. Of course, they give him a new form. They give him a different look. Before, he just resembled what he looked like in the original timeline before Crazy World 1 took place. And now he's a different design. Of course, he had glitch free of the characters, which change what they look like and change them to different characters. Here's the thing. This story, this origin, actually sounds very, very, very similar. But we get to that moment, what the theories might be holding. Anyways, the new character itself, now in a new form, gets to do anything with the new powers that he have. He can add in upgrades of many characters. He can even, of course, make other characters have mixed weapons. And he even do the thing he does. See, during the end of Unleashed, during the final moments of the comic, something least off that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when Ultimate Mix takes place, he decided to make a place that, of course, he wanted a leader from. And no other better person to have than the one who started the whole Crazy World timeline. practically, yeah, it's Mr. Calvin. Let him be a leader of a group of characters in the ultimate mix place. Having a place with a bunch of characters. Sound familiar? Ring any bells? Well, it's the 2018 game theory how MacPac thinks that FNAF UCN is canon to the story. Yeah, the origins of this character is obviously gonna have many references to those events that try to prove the theory. First of all, notice I said that 3 of the characters after they got glitched by that weird marshmallow thing. That's because it's sort of a reference to the Afton family of the series.
Okay.
So, sort of. Not entirely, sort of. Yeah. Judging by how many times you're gonna look at the theory. And also Mr. Calvin having a place with a bunch of characters. If that doesn't sound like that kind of theory, then I don't know what does. Number 19. The origins of Dragonwing. So let's go back to, go forward to a comic book later. Legends of Dragonwing actually tells the origins of this weird thing. Yeah. Anyways, let's get on with it. So, now we all know the origins of Mr. Fluffy Harry character. It's time to do the origins of Dragonwing. Anyways, the origins of Dragonwings. Well, the start of the origins is very simple. A new character named Obar of course, has discovered his own family and wondering where he goes next with this whole thing. Well, I will tell you where he goes next. He tries to discover the old run down warehouse and discovers many books and tries to open one. And here it discovers the timeline of events of the characters. starting with page 1, Mr. Calvin himself. But he turns many of the pages and discovers he is actually a Welf. So this guy used this discovery to become Dragonwing, and with that he tries to continue on his journey. But wait, something is off. There is a masked villain. This masked villain tries to figure out what he wants from him. Yes, this masked villain wants to find out what does Dragon want from him. And so he tries to figure out what is going on. And so he tries to talk. Tries to talk one of his members, Clean Man himself, to try to talk to the discovery how he is a Welf. So he explains about many of the members and tries to understand what Clean Man is saying. So he hunts down the masked villain, see if he has anything to do with the Welfs. The masked villain tries to say, yes, I am somehow part of them as well. And so he tries to defeat the masked villain, but of course he almost loses conscious. And of course takes off the mask of this bad guy, only to figure out that the masked villain is actually the Brandon character. And so he drops the mask, and of course the Brandon character, disappears, never to be seen. And of course he can't believe his eyes, and it turns out it was one of his members of his family. And so he talks to another member of who's now another member of the Welfs, Mr. Calvin himself. And yes, thanks to him being married to Tina Welf, he is in fact a member of the Welf himself. Anyways, to try to is explain what was going on. And it turns out that the birthing character, aka the masked villain, is actually Dragon Wing's father. Dun dun dun. This whole thing is, of course, the iconic good guy turns out to be bad guy theory. This combines the two theories of MatPat. His film theory revealed that the Jedi turn out to be the bad guys, and his film theory where he thinks that Wally is the devil. Yeah. Kinda weird, isn't it? How two theories he turns out and thinks that the characters are not what he's supposed to think. Turns out end up being